What's up guys, my name is Angel. In today's video, I am talking to Giorgio, an Italian friend that's living in Switzerland with a net worth of well over €1,000,000. You may already know him from 3 podcast episodes which we recorded together, or as Mr. Rip from his blog Retire in Progress or YouTube. So here's what we're going to be talking about in the video. When he started his FI journey and what got him interested in pursuing financial independence in the first place, his job at Google which helped him fast track his journey and how much he was earning there, why he ultimately decided to leave his high-paying job which most people will be extremely jealous of, at what point he became a millionaire and how long it took him to get there, and lastly, his current net worth and if that's enough for him to retire right now. Before we get into it, don't forget to smash the like button if you enjoy videos like this, and if you'd like to support me or Giorgio, you can find all the links in the description below. Alright, let's get into the video. Thank you, Giorgio, for talking to me today. I really appreciate it. When did you start your FI journey and what got you interested in pursuing financial independence in the first place?
That's a very interesting question because I don't know if I have a single episode of Fire Epiphany. I think I started getting close to the frugality mindset back in 2008, 2009. I've always been frugal. So I've been challenging myself to live with as little as possible, even when I was living in Milan, which is not very cheap. But yes, so at one point I discovered the Early Retirement Extreme website and book, and then Mr. Money Mustache. So I thought, oh, wow, if I can live with very little, I can retire early. But then something happened in my life. I got a job offer from Google in Switzerland, and so my salary skyrocketed. But that didn't help in reaching financial independence earlier because also expenses skyrocketed. My first frugality epiphany was in around 2008, 2009. But then I fully went into FIRE and investing in 2014, 15. So that was when I decided, okay.
2 years before me, okay.
Yeah, there's a name for what I want to do, and that's called FIRE. So yeah, let's go all in.
How is it possible that in the end you decided to quit your job at Google, and how much were you making per year, just to put that into perspective?
Yeah, sure. I'm pretty transparent on my blog. So if you go there, you can see my earnings, my spending. So there are a lot of details I don't hide. Until a few months ago, I was hiding that Google was the real company. I was naming it Huli just because I blogged anonymously. Now I put my face, so why not mentioning the company? I've been working at Google from November 2012 until April 2020. So it's 1 year I'm out of Google. I've been working there for 7 years and a half. My starting salary was 130,000 as a base salary, plus several perks like reimbursement for travel up to
Swiss francs,
4,000.
right?
What?
Swiss francs.
Swiss francs. You should cut 10% if you want to translate into euros.
Euros.
So 130 is 115,000. Okay. But that base salary plus 15% bonus plus a lot of stocks, which I mean, the first year total compensation was around 160, 170, but then it reached 280. Last 2-3 years, I was at 270, 280 total compensation gross, which yes, it's a lot of money. But I kind of plateaued. I mean, there's still a lot of things. I mean, a lot of upside potential if I were keep getting promoted and moving into management. You can easily reach 500,000 per year. And yeah, it's a lot of money. It's a bless. I mean, I'm happy to have been working at Google, but personally, I didn't find much fulfillment. Maybe the problem is me, that I still look for fulfillment in what I do instead of accepting that the nihilism, that the world there's no meaning in things. But yeah, the problem was that the first 3 years I enjoyed what I was doing. I was a software engineer. I had an amazing team, amazing colleagues, but then things started changing. Even if you look at Google history, things kind of changed in 2015, 16, some scandals, some even at company level, not funny news. We removed "Don't be evil" in the mission statement. Things started to get less interesting from a company level and also on a personal scale. I had even personal issues like I got married, I became a father. I was less prone to spend 150% of my mental skills into my job. So I decided to. I started getting detached, and this is not a job you can survive a lot if you detach yourself from the job. I mean, it's even not fair. I mean, they're paying you a lot. So at one point, I just changed team, but I didn't find any a new wave of enthusiasm, and so I quit on April of last year in good standing. I mean, I'd never been like warned for low performance, so I was still performing good. But I decided to quit after a couple of years of struggle. I also went into a burnout phase, as I've been 5 months out of work for medical reason. So it's funny because someone asked me the opposite question: why did you stay so long? But in the end, 7.5 years, I think it's a good size of, I mean, it's a nice chunk of time. And my net worth jumped from 50,000 to 1 million and 300,000. I remember my net worth at the moment I quit Google.
And once you reach a certain amount of money, I think it makes sense to ask yourself, okay, really, if I'm just doing this for the money and it's not fulfilling me, then I'm guessing that was also your mindset. Like,
it was a lot of money. I mean, it's not easy to walk away. It took me a couple of years to say, okay, no, and just I don't want this salary anymore. And the fact that the salary is not constant. I mean, I had like December and January, you get the bonus, you get the extra stocks. So January is like 40,000. Oh shit! And December 50,000 with stock vesting. It's not easy to walk away from this. It's not definitely not easy. It took me a lot of time, but I did it. But at one point, I also saw that okay, an extra 50,000 I will stash on top of the other money, and it doesn't seem to give me much fulfillment. Of course, it gives me safety. Like every extra dollar you give me, it's an extra safety margin. But I was paying with health. In the last 1 year, I started noticing that I was somatizing. I don't know if it's the right word. Before my detachment, before 2019 was just okay. I don't like what I'm doing. I'll do it anyway, but I don't like it. In the last year, I started to say, I don't like what I'm doing, so I'm going to the micro kitchen and eat a lot of chocolate. I was starting like feeling always like a headache and back pain. I mean, my body was telling me, hey, bro, you want to die super rich or you want to try to have a better work-life balance?
Yeah, I think you made the right call.
I mean, I didn't die. It's 1 year. I'm out of Google. I'm way better even in terms of wealth. My wealth grew. I didn't stop working. I still have a job.
And I mean, in the end, this gives you more freedom for the future, that you had
more
a couple
freedom
of years
and
of more intense work.
Yes, more free, a lot more freedom, but I think I might still like get rid of this one as well. I'm getting allergic of having a boss or something like this.
When exactly did you say you started your FI journey, and how long did it take you from there to cross first million?
If we count from the beginning of hey, I have some money saved, it took a lot of time. If we start from when I realized that my job at Google is not that fulfilling, I would say mid 2015, when I also wrote a long document for myself. Then I say, hey, by the way, this is like almost a book. I should start writing a blog. It was mid 2015. And then in 1 year later, I started my blog. So let's say mid 2015. And the million I crossed, I think it was August 2019, probably.
So before it, you were blowing your fat Google salary before you kind of
No, I've never been. I mean, I was already saving. Just I didn't have a purpose. Just saving because I used to save, and I used to consider money as a runway. So if I said, oh, well, I have 200,000 in my bank account and I spend 2,000 per month, I have 100 months of paid life. So I can quit and do nothing, but without considering investing and letting money work for you. So that was the missing part in my in my puzzle. So nice. I realized that I should invest, and I should invest passively, and I should expect X% per year. When I realized that, I then saw my money not more as a runway, so as, hey, I have 200,000, I can live 100 months on this money, but as a machine that generates other money. I say, oh, hey, I have a 200,000. If I can let them generate 4%, I have a machine that generates 8,000 per year. At one point, the machine can cover the entire expenses.
You have a family as well. You have
yes.
one daughter, right? You have one kid.
One daughter.
And the wife.
Yeah, nice. At the moment.
In the end of April 2021, what is your net worth right now?
In which currency do you want it?
Let's do euros. I think that's the easiest.
In euros, I'm at 1,330,000.
And is that 1.3 something million euros? Is that enough to retire in Switzerland?
No, definitely not. Definitely not. Well, it would be extremely lean fire if you were single, or if this was your portion, then you had like a partner who has like same amount of money and no kids, maybe. Assuming a 3 something % withdrawal rate, I could afford to live on 40,000 per year. It's pretty hard.
That's definitely a big difference to many other European countries where you could retire already. If you would go back to Italy, no problem. You could live in a small town.
Yeah,
somewhere.
I think, I mean, if we exclude all the risks due to future like government instability, adding taxes on wealth or whatever, but with current rules, I could easily retire almost everywhere in Europe or even in the world, excluding the Singapore, or Monaco, Switzerland, and maybe San Francisco, New York. But I think everywhere else we could retire.
Thank you very much, Giorgio, for taking time for this part. I think you shared some very valuable and interesting information. Yeah. And I think what I would be curious to know is I will have to do a comparison of living expenses in Austria, me and my wife, and versus your living expenses in Switzerland. Oh, I think that would be quite interesting for people to get a bit of a feeling. So they don't hear, oh, you earn this much, but actually, like, yeah, when you have higher living expenses, that is a big factor.
I will walk the walk of shame. Yes.
All right, perfect. So that will be in the
but
next
I think
video.
I'm doing good, but the problem is that here there are expenses which are hard to cut, or I mean, cutting those expenses will come at a very high like happiness cost. So
yeah, of course. All right, thank you very much, Giorgio.
Oh, you're welcome. It's been a pleasure.
That's it for today's video. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, don't forget to smash the like button and to subscribe if you want to see more. Also, if you'd like to support me or Giorgio, you can find all the links in the description below. We also recorded a part 2 where we go into more details about his living expenses in Switzerland, which are quite a bit higher than my own expenses in Austria. So stay tuned for that. That should be out in a few days as well. Thank you so much for watching, and until next time.